السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال. Allah accept from everybody his worship in Ramadan. And I hope inshallah you can get Laylat al-Qadr and you can get many Ramadans, many years in Ramadan after that. This is first lecture in method validation, which is in ISO 17025 2017 edition. Under process requirement, there is selection, verification and validation of methods. And there you will find that lab shall have procedures for all lab activities, and performance of these lab activities shall be evaluated to ensure that the results given are accurate and reliable. And that will provide higher confidence to the customer, and also results will be accepted internationally. So it's very important at the beginning to know the professional duty of the analytical chemist. And you should know that customer doesn't understand everything about the analytical part of the problem. So the lab chemist shall justify his confidence by providing him the answer for the analytical part of the problem in a simple way. And also reports shall be simple and clear. And results shall be accurate and reliable, and that will be by using validated methods. So any decision taken based on these results can be taken with a confidence. Our topic today about the differences between method validation and method verification, and when is required to make validation for the methods, and when only verification can be applied, and what are the parameters required to evaluate the performance of your method. Method validation is the process of defining analytical requirements and confirmation of suitability of the method to analyze specific analytes. So at the beginning you should define the analytical requirements. Number one, you should select the target analytes required to be analyzed, and that will be according to customer request, and also your vision, the lab vision, that customer request in case of you, if you are working in a private lab. But if you are reference lab or any lab related to the government, so you have vision to increase your scope of analysis. Then you should define the method, the procedure, which is fit for purpose. This method should be fit for purpose. Fit to analyze these target analytes. And at the end you should select the proper instrument. Which will be fit with this method to analyze these target analytes. After you will define these analytical requirements, you just need now to confirm the suitability of the method to analyze these target analytes, and that will be by evaluation of method performance parameters. And that will be explained in details in the next lectures, inshallah. But in case of method verification, for standard methods or reference methods, the lab shall only confirm that it can properly operate the standard methods before introducing the test or calibrations. So, if you have reference method like from ISO methods or ASTM or a standard method for water and wastewater, or EPA guidelines, or AOAC, already reference method, and this method is already validated, so you shall only confirm that you can operate this method using your instrument, and you can get reliable results, you can get the same performance parameters like in the validated method. When is required to make validation for your methods and when only verification can be applied? In case of validation, validation can be for non-standard methods or lab-developed methods or in-house methods. In this case, you will search. If you didn't find a reference method to analyze your target analytes, you will go for another step, in-house method. You will search for many publications. And you will find out what the people did before to analyze these analytes. And then, according to your experience in this work, you will adapt a new procedure according to your experience. Number one, what are the chemicals you have inside the lab? What are the solvents? What in the instrument can be used? And also assisted equipments you have. And then you will find out this procedure which is fit for your purpose. So in this case, you need to make new validation. By evaluation of all method performance parameters or most of them. Then also, you need to make for standard methods used outside their intended scopes. What does it mean, standard methods used outside their intended scopes? If you find reference method to analyze specific analyte in matrix, you find out reference to analyze your analytes in a matrix, and you need to analyze same analyte but in completely different matrix. In this case, you need to make new validation. Also, in case of modified standard methods, when a change is applied to a standard method, a validated method, the effect of these changes shall be determined and if required, you can make new validation. Like changing the instrument by another type of instrument. Like changing the detector by different detector. Like changing the solvent for extraction solvent by another solvent. If you have big change in the standard method, in this case you need to make new validation. Verification can be applied if you have reference methods. Reference methods, which are validated methods, like ISO methods, ASTM, standard methods for water and wastewater, AOAC guidelines, whatever standards, validated methods, and you just need to verify the performance of these methods inside the lab. Also, if there are minor changes like a similar but new instrument, you have an instrument and you change it by another one, but same, everything same. In this case, some parameters will change, like sensitivity of the instrument, like LOQ of the instrument. So you just need to verify the performance of the method. Also, if there is relocation of the instrument, if you transfer the instrument from location to another location, you just need to verify the performance of the method. If the instrument updated with a new software. You don't need to make new validation, just make verification. If quality control results indicates that you do every day, indicates that the performance of the method changing with time. In this case also you just need to verify the method. But if you change the column or you did maintenance for your instrument, you don't need to make new validation or full verification, but you just need to make new calibration, and you can also use verification standard to check that calibration, and you can make spiking also to check the recovery of your method. What are the parameters required to be evaluated to ensure the performance of the method? In case of validation and verification, limit of detection or detection limit or minimum detection limit, limit of quantitation or quantitation limit or reporting limit, sensitivity, selectivity, working range, linearity range, accuracy, and under accuracy there is trueness and precision, and under precision there is repeatability and reproducibility, ruggedness or robustness, and at the end measurement uncertainty. In case of validation, you have in the lab quantitative and qualitative methods. Quantitative, you need to determine the amount or concentration of target analytes using calibration curve. But in case of qualitative method, you just need to detect the presence or absence of the analyte in the test sample. So you need here to evaluate all of these performance parameters. But in qualitative, you don't need to evaluate working range or linearity range or LOQ, quantitation limit. You just need detection limit. Also measurement uncertainty, not very important. Some cases they are, in some laboratories they can evaluate also measurement uncertainty, but it's not very important in case of qualitative method, because you just need to detect the presence or absence of the analyte in the test sample. In case of verification, there is no need to evaluate ruggedness or measurement uncertainty in both of them, quantitative or qualitative. But in case of qualitative, working range also and linearity range, no need to evaluate. Inshallah, in the next lectures we will explain in details every parameter from these performance parameters. Thank you and see you in the next lecture inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.